accent, accent, accent. The best way to do this. That particular spot would need this sort of treatment. I mean, I think, in my view. A lot of bow will not be helpful in this case. Yes? Try right there at the top. Yes. It still is a triplet. So too much time we cannot take there, yeah? We can be loose, we can be flexible, but not too much time, or else the triplet just dissolves, yeah? I would lift the bow. There is some advantage to this. And let me just give you a very curious fact. Everybody, almost everybody, including myself, were too hasty during a performance to remark the fact that he only wrote a mezzo forte there. He only asks you to play half full. Right? Just a little bit, again, you know, for reference. That has to come out. Okay, now how are we going to do this? Again, it will not be intelligent, and maybe this is another reason why Ysaye actually wrote mezzo forte, because of those accents. If those accents are forte, they will be very clearly heard. So. Now, there are two accents there. We always miss them. Right? Most people play that way. It's not. There are two accents there. So he's leading. In his mind, he's harmonical. Try to emphasize those accents. No, you missed the first one. The way you would do it is by getting, first of all, much closer to the bridge. For sure, if you want to accent, your bow speed should not be too fast. Sometimes a fast bow speed is not to your advantage when you want to accent things. Try. No. Okay. At least something was heard. Yeah, but what happens with you? You get loose. You will not be able to draw accents from here. Only from here. Look how close I am at the bridge. Tiram, papa, yam, paparam, papam. Okay, it's still a form of a dance. Your eighth note is, again, within the concept of loose and individual interpretation. The dance is becoming too loose now. Tara, papa, yam, pam, param, papa, yam, pam, pam. Let's move on. Okay, that's fine. Make sure that when you play those accents, if you're really serious about those accents and you want to follow those accents because of the sequence, make sure that you are not overplaying just before and just after an accent, so that we just hear enough of a jolt. Tam, papa, papa. Yeah? Yeah, I still don't hear it. Taram, papam. Look at the dynamic level. So the statement before that was in forte. Now we are at mezzo forte. Okay? So it's in effect a reduction for you. In effect, it should be the same dynamic as the beginning. Yeah, but here. I would get there to a forte, for sure, and then reduce again. Okay, you have 3 bar phrases. Okay, difficult. Yeah. Ta-da-dum, pee-dee-dee-yum, pa-pa-pum. Yeah. Abruptly, you know, and articulate. I can imagine a bit more ritenuto as it's written there. And also, here, make sure that the accents stay very proper. Yeah, that would be a bit the French way. Nothing wrong, not said as criticism. French way of playing, but I still personally, I prefer to hear the 2-2-2 because for him it's some sort of an excitement that is happening. Okay, so try to. Other remark that I really wanted to tell you is a fashion and a way of playing chords. Now, 3 chords and 4 chords are a lot more difficult. So you need to, in effect, develop a technique where you hear the 3 notes and they detach. For example, an ideal place would be other chords in different places you can break. That's different. Okay. Okay, good. And well done. Now we need to reflect a little bit about the allegro tempo or allegro requirement, even within a loose form that he's asking us to do. Roughly 120. Could be a little bit less, but around 120. Okay. Ta-da, ta-ta-da, 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 ta-ta, pa-pa-da, pa-pa, pa-pa-pa-pa. Okay. Maybe you want, or you will feel more comfortable with this little slower tempo. Understood, okay? But we do not leave the thread from where the tempo really is, okay? This is the reason why, for example, if you take a tempo that is closer to the allegro that he's asking you to take, then the ritenuto will be much more effective. Then we hear the ritenuto. But if we play too slow of a tempo, and that's the start of my remark, then the ritenuto is becoming all crooked. We can put it under the file of, yes, we are all human beings and we need to be desperate and whichever way we are. However, we must relate. We must relate to the original form of what the composer actually asked us to do. So this is the tempo. Tira, parara, tarara, tadiri, tara, pa, para, para. Live, yes, live. In tempo giusto, in fact, he's asking you to take the exact tempo that he wants. So he must have played it very fast. So bearing all of these things that we talked about, let's try and choose a good tempo and at least try to make a ritenuto, yes? Start just a few bars before. Not fortissimo, yes, desperate, but forte. And okay, don't, again, because of your excitement, you're overusing your bow. What you want to make sure is you want to make sure that you get a really good articulation on the accent. Yes, start directly at the theme. Yeah, good, fine. And we need to create, of course, dolce feeling as required by the composer. And piano, okay, calmato, calm. He needs calm now. Okay, right? Don't rush. The third note is not heard. We need to hear the third note. If your mind will be concentrated on the third note as well, then we will hear the triplet. It's in fact a triplet. Yes. Good. Now, bearing this in mind, we also want the flow. Yes? We want both. Look at this. Look at this. Little details, important though. And I feel that you're still not clear in your mind. Remember, it's not pianissimo. You need to create the atmosphere, but it's piano atmosphere, not pianissimo atmosphere. Atmosphere of change from what happened before. Okay, yeah, I mean, some people will probably require you to be a bit more closely relating to the bowings. What is really important is that our grouping has a certain language. That's the language. See, now he's asking you here. Which has connection to. Okay, he's forming it in a different way. Yes? Also here, what you should do is not to be anxious and really attack every triplet. Continue. And then piano. Yes? Try again. Look. He really meant to be loco. He explains loco. Loco, what is loco? Crazy, right? Yeah. Okay, now watch here. Poco meno, a bit less, and grazioso. What is grazioso?
Graceful.
Okay. So, and he means it. Back into strange land. Yes? legato. Yeah, 2, 2, 2. He writes, if he wants a second possibility, take a look at the lento. He writes 4, and he gives you also the possibility of playing 2, 2. Some people do. Where he wants to, he's very specific. Okay, to me it's, well, grazioso, calm, okay, and it has a very strange harmony to it. It's like a jazz. Yes? So this whole section, then he only resolves it gives you at least a smell of more solid harmony, okay? So I would play this thing calm and strange. Why? Look, tiny crescendo diminuendo. So he really wants to hear the part of this. Or rather, yes? You see, you are not used to, we're starting always, very logical. Everybody stops there. This is not what is written, right? We are in a mode of sede, in a mode of ritenuto, but in a mode, there should be connection. No, now loco. Flexible. Ritenuto. Tempo. This was loco all the way. Loco all the way is crazy all the way. But at a certain point we have to stop being loco and be a tempo, yes? And take a look at this. Sede again, ritenuto. So he writes very clearly. In other words, he wants you to be a tempo. Look how simple and precise he is. A tempo, sede. In other words, a tempo, ritenuto. He sees that as a section. Before a tempo, he writes ritenuto. He sees that as another section. Okay? So, clear? Pretty clear. Took a little bit of time, but still was it was pretty much a tempo. We can be crazy a tempo. Okay, couple of things. Good, well done. And I see now that you are aware of the accents, and I'm really happy about that, because that's the way it's written. Yes, all those things, there are details, they could be meaningless for other people. For me, they are important. Now look. So he's changing the harmony now. There, we might be able to use some tempo, some form of expression, not moving away from a tempo too much. Yes, but because we know what happens, yeah, if we move too much from that tempo. Try it from there. I would welcome, that's good, very good. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, there you went too much loco, I think. Ti-ta-ta-ta, ya ta-ta, ta-pa-pa. If you get into a rhythmic mode, I didn't necessarily force you to get into a rhythmic mode. For me, I only told you that I hear pop, 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 pop. After this figuration, I cannot do. I can, but I will not. Because there is a real ritenuto coming. Yes? Yeah, and there also. There I would take tempo. Only because of the chord. Now the top, a tempo. End of section. Yes? No, you're rushing too much. Hey, you are in a ritenuto mode. You're in a ritenuto mode. Sede is ritenuto. No. Why not? Yeah, even more, even more. Okay, good. Let's take a look, okay? You chose this tempo, right? First of all, there is an allargando written in the music. Okay, vivo e ben marcato, vivo e live. That's the way it's written. Just a clear table. Tam, taga, 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 taga. Più mosso. A tempo, he didn't ask you to take. We need to know the form first. We need to have a very clear table before we start doing things. Okay? So, for example, this chord I would not play too long. See, because then it will, you can do it here, we can accept it, because it's a much looser form. I would not accept it in Beethoven, I would not accept it in Mozart. Here I can barely accept it. But all I'm asking you to do is not to lose the connection with two things, più mosso, and he didn't ask you to change the tempo. So, tira, ta-da, 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 ta-da. Now più mosso. Tan, taga, 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 taga. Yes, it's a different thought, but I'm not asking you to play like this. I'm asking you just to be aware, here, somewhere in the back, that this is the way it's written. Maybe he played it, or played close to this. Okay, now try. Good, okay. You related to this, but yes, now what we don't want to do is we don't want to lose the feeling of liveliness, which is so important to Ysaye. So we need to do both, okay? So now he has 2 bars of allargando. Yes, accents too. So I was a bit drunk, nevertheless not too far out of the tempo and not too slow for the tempo. I sort of went this way. Possible. We don't insult the composer, we don't insult the wishes of Mr. Ysaye. Right? What is poco a poco slargando?
Slowly, slowly, slower.
Getting poco a poco slower, right? And then vivo, right? Okay. That's not slargando. It's a tempo. Something like that. Yes? Makes sense, yeah?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.